Do you enjoy it? Are you telling the players to win 1-0? What's going on?
No, of course we're not telling the players to win 1-0, but we spoke about before the game when it's difficult for us because you can't always play well. And in the first half we weren't playing well. And we realised that, but spoke about resilience and about the character that we've been showing all pre-season, all the start of the season, and that you need to dig in when things aren't going for you and when you're finding it tough. And then we did. And in the second half, I thought we were really good. I thought we started to get on the ball, we started to play through them, and then we got our just rewards when we scored the goal. And then we probably could have won 2 or 3 in the end because we had those chances. But it was a game that we knew that we had to fight. We had a day less rest than they did. We had a few players out with injuries, and we knew it was going to be tough, especially with the heat. That factor there, it ends up being a slowish game for us, and we like to be a quick game. But in the end, so proud of the boys because I don't care. It's 1-0 or 3-2. It's important to get the wins, and we've now won 8 games in 13, so it's good going.
You mentioned the first half not playing well. Why do you think your boys came out of the blocks rather slowly?
It happens when you have a really short turnaround compared to the opposition. It happens, that sometimes it takes you a little bit to get going into the game, and then your confidence drops a little bit. And they give credit to Sydney; they're a good side. They played well in that first half, but we found a way again, and we felt that we would, once we get into the game, start to play like we did in Sydney when we completely dominated them in the second half. And that's what we did in the second half today. I think Rene Corinne made a big improvement for us when we were able to get on the ball a lot more in midfield. And then Lustig again was good. Kilkenny ended up coming into the game in the second half. And if our midfielders are then getting into the game, which we didn't in the first half, then we start to dominate and we controlled the game. In the second half, they didn't have any opportunities and we were in total control.
Good, just maybe a comment on both Steve's goal. It's now his 4th of the campaign. I think he's now your equal leading goal scorer, but also the hold-up play from Prijovic to set him up for that shot.
Yeah, and it's something that we've been working on and that we worked on during the week, and we spoke about that. It's a massive plus for us, and because we could see that they were trying to press us in certain situations, and skipping a line and playing Alex, and then coming underneath him, and we did that well in the second half, even in our back third, mid third. And then on the goal, we know that Alex is strong enough and skillful enough to hold up the ball, and you have runners off of him. It's hard to track. It's very hard to track, and it was a great finish from Lustig. He's, that's why we re-signed him. Score goals for us.
Rene played obviously his longest patch on the pitch, 45 minutes tonight. Obviously, he said he was able to give you guys more control in midfield. I guess, how did you evaluate his performance tonight? Yeah,
good. Look, he ran out of legs a bit, as to be expected. He hasn't played a lot of football, hasn't had a real pre-season. So it was good to give him minutes and longer minutes, and it was tough conditions. So, I thought that he was very good. The first 30 minutes of that second half, he was really finding the space, able to play, understanding where to play. He also defensively did a really good job for us, winning balls in midfield, and so yeah, pleased for him. And we know that he will get a lot better as well. It was the same with Alex. When he first came here, everyone knows how good he can be, but it takes time for foreigners. And now we're seeing Alex. We're seeing what the Prijovic can do, and still there's more to come.
You showed a lot of faith in Adisu, fantastic cameo off the bench on the weekend, got the start today, had his moments throughout the game. I guess, how'd you see his performance tonight?
Yeah, it was. Look, it's important for our younger players to get a taste, and it was difficult for him because it's in the first half we didn't have a lot of the ball, so he's chasing a lot, and then like everyone, he started to get better as the game went on. And the one thing that Adisu has got, and that you need to have if you want to make it at any level, he's got good work rate and work ethic, and that's not only in the game, that's in training, and so we know that he's going to improve a lot more, but it was good for him to start.
John, as you mentioned before, this is your 8th win of the campaign. That equals the club's win total from last season. What do you think is the biggest factor behind the turnaround that this club is experiencing this campaign?
The togetherness of the club, the team, is massive. Like, you only win football games like that if you've got a good group and a group willing to work for each other. Or else you don't win. That first half, you don't get through it if you haven't got a good group and a good culture. We had a lot of... we spent a lot of time working hard on that during pre-season and making sure that the players understand what we're about as a football club, what we're about as a team, and how to instill that work ethic and working for each other. And, if something goes against you, people don't realise that, in pre-season we're training on some terrible pitches, and it's no criticism to where we were, but the boys didn't complain once. They were wanting to improve, wanting to learn, and that's the rewards they get. Then, everyone can talk about 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. I look at the way that we're growing as a group and as a team.
Well, how do you instill together? Is it just working them hard together as a unit in pre-season? I mean, I'm sure most coaches do that. How do you specifically try to instill a sense of togetherness in a group?
It's not only working them hard, because that's easy to do. You can run someone easily, but you have to give them a reason why we're doing it, how we're doing it. And it's not only the playing group, it's the whole club and staff all together. How we respect each other, how everyone's important within the club, all these things. And if, occasionally there'll be people that will step over the mark, and you have to explain why that's not how we want to do it. And the playing group have bought into that. And that's, it's a daily, you can't just say, work hard. It's daily. If someone comes into a room and doesn't say hello to me, I'll make sure that I go up to them and say hello to them, so they know that it's important that we're here together, we respect each other, and we're here for the club, and we're on a journey, because the club is still only 2 years old, and we're building something as a team and as a club for the future generations, hopefully.
In terms of Dia and Connor Payne, missed tonight, how are they tracking at the moment? Are they looking like more long-term, or, some maybe...
Not long-term. Not sure whether they'll be up for Sunday. Hoping they will be, but not 100% sure. But they're not long-term. So, again, that will be a massive boost for us, having those two back. Then all of a sudden, our depth is a lot larger.
In terms of today's game, in the first half, Max Burgess seemed to have a lot of control in the midfield, and the second half, you guys seemed to shut him out with your midfield. Was that something you spoke about at half-time to kind of eliminate him from the game?
Yeah, we spoke about a few things in terms of how that they were getting the ball easy in midfield. They had too much space, and we spoke about that. We spoke about how we'll limit that space and then force them into areas that we could win the ball in good areas. And then the biggest thing I thought for the second half was that we, at the start especially, the last 10-15 minutes, we started to like long goal kicks and whatever, was having the confidence to play and being brave on the ball, because then you're not chasing the whole game. And in the first half, it felt like we were chasing because we weren't brave enough. And then the second half, we were able to find the solution, and we did that well.
Dia's presence on the touchline, I mean, he was right behind you guys the whole game. Usually an injured player's up in the stands or up in the box. Just as a sort of having him down there, I guess, did the players feed off his energy? What was he like having him down there for the whole game?
Yeah, I'm sure the players did. Look, Dia's Italian. You have to. If you're Italian, you're passionate. Most Italians are passionate. But yeah, he's one of the leaders, and so he's important for the group when he's playing on the field, when he's not playing in the dressing room. But not only him. We've got a lot of players that are leaders, and everyone within our team is important. But yeah, it was good having him there, and at least he's giving me the players the same information I was giving. Maybe in Italian to Leo and Rene, because they understand Italian well.
John, well done on tonight's win. A few years ago, or nearly 10 years ago, fans were saying sack Aloisi, sack Aloisi. Now you're...
I forgot about that. Why did you bring it up for?
Well, now you've just been one of the best teams in the whole history of the competition, sitting on top of the A-League ladder. How does it feel, and what's the difference between then and now?
The difference is that you never give up. You always, if you believe in something and you work so hard to achieve something, that you keep on persisting. and even when and look, this is going to happen, and it will happen again. That the people are going to be criticising the coach, because that's part of your job, that's part of your role, to be able to deal with that. You have to have strong conviction in what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve, not only yourself but the group around you, and not waver from it, and not worry about what people are going to say, because there were circumstances that, you know, sometimes you can't change what's around you, but it was a great learning curve, brilliant. It's never nice getting told, you know, to get the sack, but it was a good learning curve for me, and it's made me more experienced, a lot more knowledgeable of things, not only on the field but off the field, that I can sort of have a say in controlling, and you know, I picked the right club to be at, the right club. They're ambitious, they want to build, they're on a journey, so am I. So that's probably the biggest difference.
Brilliant, and well done on that. And also, just Dylan Pereira, he came off at half-time. Is he a little injury concern, or is he okay?
No injury concern. Look, it's been tough for the players that haven't played a lot of minutes, so then they had to back up. So we knew that probably would happen to a few players. Haven't played, and then 3 days later back up. So Dylan's fine. He's still a very important player for us, and I'm sure that come Perth he'll be ready to go again.